Welcome to today's deep dive. I'm really excited about this one because um, we're getting into something that affects literally every single one of us.
Oh, absolutely. Every single day.
Yeah. We are diving into the source material from James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. But to be clear, we are not just looking at some generic list of, tips for building a morning routine.
Right. No, we're going way deeper than that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The mission of this deep dive is to uncover the exact definition of atomic habits, to really understand why tiny changes are your ultimate secret weapon.
And, we want to arm you, the listener, with practical daily strategies to
Yeah.
just totally crush procrastination.
Yeah, and completely bypass what they call the law of least effort. Because the secret to massive success isn't about setting these monumental goals.
Right. It's not about staring at the finish line.
It's really about shifting your focus to the smallest possible units of your behavior.
The microscopic units.
Yeah. So, okay, let's unpack this right from the start. When people hear the word atomic, they usually think of something explosive, right?
Sure, like an atomic bomb or something massive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But in this context, we need to think about an atom in the literal scientific sense.
Right, as a building block.
Yeah. It's the fundamental, irreducible building block of a larger system. I mean, you cannot build a complex molecule without atoms.
And you can't build a life-changing routine without these microscopic, irreducible habits.
Which brings us to this wild story from the sources about the British cycling team.
Oh, the Dave Brailsford story, that is such a perfect example.
It's crazy. So back in 2003, British cycling was just an international laughingstock.
Like, genuinely terrible.
Yeah. To the point where one of the top bike manufacturers in Europe actually refused to sell gear to them.
Wait, really? They wouldn't even sell them bikes.
No. They were terrified that if other professionals saw the British riders using their equipment, it would, tank their sales.
Wow, that's a rough reputation.
Century-long mediocrity. But then Dave Brailsford takes over in 2003, and just 5 years later, that exact same team completely dominates the 2008 Olympics.
They won, what, 60% of the available gold medals?
Exactly. And they didn't do it with some agonizing, earth-shattering overhaul of their training.
Right. He implemented this strategy he called the aggregation of marginal gains.
Which sounds fancy, but it's just,
It's just looking for a 1% improvement in literally everything.
yeah. They redesigned the bike seats to be slightly more comfortable.
They tested different massage gels to see which one offered the fastest muscle recovery.
They even brought in a surgeon to teach the riders how to wash their hands properly so they wouldn't catch a cold.
Which is brilliant. And my favorite detail, they painted the inside of the team truck stark white.
Oh, right. Just so they could spot tiny specks of dust that might, mess up the aerodynamics of the bikes.
Yeah, because individually, washing your hands better or painting a truck white, I mean, that doesn't win you a gold medal.
No, of course not.
But what's fascinating here is the math. It's the mathematical reality of the compound effect.
Right. They just stacked hundreds of these 1% improvements.
Exactly. And by the 2012 London Olympics, they set 9 Olympic records and 7 world records.
It's insane. And the math behind this applies to anyone listening to this deep dive right now.
The 1% rule.
Yeah. If you get 1% better every day for a year, the formula 1.01 to the power of 365, it means you end up nearly 38 times better by the end of the year.
Almost 38 times better. That's massive.
There's an airplane analogy in the text that visualizes this perfectly.
Oh, LA to New York one.
Yeah. So imagine you're piloting a plane taking off from Los Angeles and you're heading for New York.
Okay.
If you adjust the nose of the plane just 3.5 degrees south right at takeoff,
Yeah.
you, as the pilot, you wouldn't even feel it.
Right. It's just a few feet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But by the time you cross the entire United States, that microscopic shift means you land in Washington, D.C. instead of New York.
Because that tiny shift at the starting point completely alters the ultimate destination.
Yeah, the trajectory is everything.
But, we have to remember that this mathematical law totally cuts both ways.
Oh, right, the negative compounding.
Yeah. If you get 1% worse every day for a year, you decline almost down to 0.
Which is terrifying.
It is. Because a 1% decline, like skipping a workout or eating poorly or just neglecting a relationship for a day, it feels completely insignificant today.
Right, you don't notice it.
But repeated daily, it compounds into this really toxic result. Habits are quite literally the compound interest of self-improvement.
Because the trajectory tells you where the whole system is heading.
Exactly. Like, think about a millionaire who consistently spends more than they earn.
On paper, today, they look highly successful.
Right, but their trajectory guarantees they will eventually be broke. The math always catches up.
Always.
So people should care far more about their current trajectory than their current results.
Because outcomes are just lagging indicators.
Yes. Your wealth is a lagging indicator of your financial habits. Your weight is a lagging indicator of your eating habits.
Your clutter is a lagging indicator of your cleaning habits.
Exactly.
But, okay, if the math of a 1% trajectory is so foolproof, it raises a glaring question.
Why is it so hard to stick to?
Yes. Why is it so incredibly hard for us to maintain a good habit for more than a few days?
Because it's frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, if you're listening to this and you've been eating salads and going to the gym for 3 weeks, and the scale hasn't moved a single pound,
Your brain is screaming at you to quit.
right, it feels like a colossal waste of time.
Well, the sources actually explain this. It's called the plateau of latent potential.
Or the valley of disappointment, right?
Yes, the valley of disappointment. Because human beings are wired to expect progress to be linear.
We put in a week of hard work, we expect a week's worth of visible results.
Exactly. But compounding systems just do not work that way. The most powerful outcomes are heavily delayed.
That makes me think of the bamboo analogy from the text.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah, so you plant a bamboo seed, you water it, and for the first 5 years, you see absolutely nothing.
Nothing at all. Just dirt.
Barely a sprout. But underground, it's building this massive, complex root system.
Right.
And then suddenly, it explodes 27 meters into the air in just 6 weeks.
Which is crazy to think about.
Yeah. So when you're in those first 5 years of the bamboo, or like the first 3 weeks of a new gym habit, you feel like you're going nowhere.
But the work isn't being wasted, it's being stored.
Right.
But there is a deeper reason why habits don't stick beyond just expecting fast results.
And that is,
It's all about identity. We usually focus on the outcomes, like what we want to get.
like, I want to read a book, or I want to run a marathon.
Exactly. But instead, the sources argue we should focus on who we wish to become.
The identity shift.
Yes, the goal isn't to read a book, the goal is to become a reader.
Okay, but if someone is struggling, isn't it hard to just magically change their core beliefs about who they are overnight?
Oh, absolutely.
Because if someone has viewed themselves as a lazy person their whole life, they can't just stand in front of a mirror and shout, I am a marathon runner.
No, of course not.
Their brain has a built-in BS detector. It's
Yeah.
going to instantly reject that.
Right, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, that's exactly why you cannot fake an identity change.
Right.
And it's why those microscopic 1% changes we talked about are so vital.
How so?
Because identity change is a gradual evolution based on evidence.
Evidence. Well,
Every time you perform a habit, no matter how tiny, it's a vote for the type of person you want to become.
a vote.
Yeah, you do a 5-minute stretch, you cast a vote for being an athlete.
You write one sentence, you cast a vote for being a writer.
Exactly. You don't need a unanimous vote to win an election.
You just need a majority.
Right. You're going to have days where you choose the donut over the apple.
And that's a vote for the old identity.
Yes. But if you keep casting small daily votes for the new identity, the evidence piles up.
And your brain's BS detector actually starts to trust you.
Because it sees proof. You learn to trust yourself.
So then how do we actually force ourselves to cast those votes when we're feeling like overwhelmingly lazy?
Procrastination.
Yeah, because when my alarm goes off at 6 a.m. in the dead of winter,
Hmm.
my identity is very much a person who loves a warm bed.
Totally.
How do we bypass that?
By accepting our lazy nature. We have to
Well-
stop fighting our biology and understand the law of least effort.
The law of least effort.
Yeah. Evolutionarily, the human brain is wired to conserve energy. Energy is precious.
Right. Our ancestors had to hold on to every calorie to survive.
Exactly. So when deciding between two similar options, your brain naturally gravitates toward the option that requires the least amount of work.
Which explains the whole agriculture thing from the text.
Oh yeah, the spread of agriculture.
It's fascinating. So agriculture spread much faster east to west across Eurasia than it did north to south in the Americas or Africa.
Piece of a climate, right?
Yeah, moving east to west meant staying in roughly the same climate. The sun behaved the same, the seasons were similar, so farmers could just use the same crops.
It was easy.
But moving north to south meant dealing with entirely new climates, new diseases. It required too much effort.
So human civilization naturally expanded along the path of least resistance.
Exactly.
And we are still wired that way today. Trying to fight that with brute force willpower is a losing battle.
So what's the alternative?
The 2-minute rule. To beat procrastination, you take the habit you want to build and downscale it until it takes 2 minutes or less.
So read before bed becomes read one page.
Yes.
Do 30 minutes of yoga becomes take out my yoga mat.
Exactly. Run 3 miles becomes tie my running shoes.
But people always push back on this, right? Like, what's the point of just tying my shoes?
They think, I'm not burning any calories doing that.
Right.
But the point isn't the workout. The point is to master the art of simply showing up.
You have to standardize a habit before you can optimize it.
Precisely. If you can't show up for 2 minutes, you have zero hope of sustaining a 45-minute routine.
Here's where it gets really interesting for me. It relates to this idea of addition by subtraction.
Oh, like the Japanese TV manufacturers in the 1970s?
Exactly. They achieved this incredible manufacturing efficiency not by yelling at workers to work harder.
But by removing points of friction.
Yeah, they actively subtracted wasted effort. And when we dial a habit down to just 2 minutes, we're basically doing addition by subtraction on our own brains.
We're subtracting the mental friction that causes procrastination.
Right.
Because if you reframe it, the habit itself is actually just an obstacle.
Wait, the habit is the obstacle.
Yeah. Dieting is the obstacle to getting fit. Meditation is the obstacle to feeling calm.
Oh, I see. You don't want the habit, you want the result.
Exactly. So the goal is to make the obstacle as small as possible. So taking action requires almost zero motivation.
Okay, so we've downscaled our habit to 2 minutes.
Right.
But realistically, life is chaotic.
Hmm.
How do we practically weave these atomic habits into a daily schedule so we don't forget them?
We use habit stacking. This taps into the first law of behavior change. Make it obvious.
Make it obvious.
Yeah. Human behavior relies heavily on cues. You rarely decide what to do next in a vacuum.
You decide based on what you just did,
Exactly. Going to the bathroom cues you to wash your hands, which cues you to dry them.
which cues you to notice the towel is dirty, and then you add laundry detergent to your grocery list.
Exactly. So the formula for habit stacking is, after current habit, I will new habit.
So instead of waiting for inspiration to strike, you tie it to something you already do.
Yes. Like after I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for 60 seconds.
Or after I take off my work shoes, I will immediately change into my gym clothes.
Right. You're building a tiny off-ramp from a neural highway your brain has already built.
That makes so much sense. But what about the physical space around us? Environment design.
It's huge. Willpower is a short-term strategy. Successful people just spend less time in tempting situations.
So make good cues visible and bad cues invisible.
Yes. Want to read more? Leave a book in your pillow when you make your bed.
And for bad habits. Like playing too many video games.
Unplug the console and put it in a closet after every use. That tiny bit of added friction is often enough to break the cycle.
Which brings up the idea of commitment devices. Making bad habits utterly difficult.
Oh, the Victor Hugo story.
It's so good.
Mm.
So he was massively procrastinating on writing The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
The deadline was looming.
Yeah, and he kept just going out to parties. So he gathered all of his clothes, gave them to an assistant, and ordered the assistant to lock them in a large chest and leave the house.
Leaving him with literally nothing but a shawl.
Right. He had no clothes to wear outside, so he was physically forced to stay inside his freezing room and write.
Now that is making a bad habit difficult.
It's extreme, but it works.
You can also use one-time actions to lock in good behavior.
Like what?
Buying a high-quality mattress to improve your sleep, or deleting social media apps from your phone.
So you have to use the clunky mobile browser.
Exactly. Or setting up an automatic transfer to your savings account.
You automate your future behavior.
Right.
Okay, let's be real for a second. We're human.
There.
What happens when we inevitably fail? Because we will. We'll get sick, or work gets crazy, and we miss a day of our new habit.
Doesn't that ruin the compounding effect?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this raises an important question, and it's where most people just throw their hands up and quit.
Right.
First, we look at Charlie Munger's first rule of compounding.
The billionaire investor.
Yes. His rule is never interrupt it unnecessarily.
Okay.
But when you do slip, because you will, the golden rule from the text is never miss twice.
Never miss twice. I love that.
If you miss one day, get back on track the very next day.
Yeah.
Do not accumulate zeros.
Because the math of compounding is brutal when it comes to losses.
Oh, it's so dark. Think about it. If you have $100 and you gain 50%, you're at $150.
Right.
But if you lose just 33% of that $150,
You fall right back down to $100.
yes, a 33% loss completely wipes out a 50% gain.
Wow.
So a
Mhm.
bad workout or a lazy day where you only do 2 minutes of stretching is actually the most important day.
Because it prevents the loss.
Exactly. It prevents a massive setback and maintains the gains you've built up.
So what does this all mean?
It means atomic habits are the tiny 1% compound interests of self-improvement.
Yeah. Whether it's the British cycling team chasing gold or just you trying to drink more water, the math never sleeps.
And by designing our environment, using the 2-minute rule, and stacking behaviors.
We make success inevitable and bad habits impossible.
Right. There is no finish line. The secret is to never stop looking for that next 1% improvement.
Because small habits don't just add up.
They multiply.
They absolutely do. So I want to leave you, the listener, with this final thought. Take a look around your environment right now.
Look at the cues surrounding you.
Yeah. If every single action you take is a vote for the person you are becoming, what is the very next action you're going to take when this deep dive ends, and what kind of person are you voting to be?